If the ODM party has a department of comedy and pranks, they should disband it and send staff from the department home. Please watch this video, like, share and subscribe to our channel. For nothing can begin to excuse the bizarre accident where they announced they had finally received the party leader's application for the presidential ticket, then sent out a strange statement 24 hours later claiming it had all been an April Fool's Day prank. The original statement indicating ODM leader Raila Odinga had beaten the deadline had been issued by the chair of the party's Elections Board Catherine Mumma. The one stating it had been a prank was signed by Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, adding fuel to the raging confusion. If you were to believe them, and you can count those who believe Sifuna's clarifications on the fingers of one hand, ODM will become the first non-political party in this country to join the usual tasteless prank fest on April 1st. Intriguingly, they will go down in history book as having played a prank with the most crucial of the party's matters, the choice of presidential candidate. I doubt that party's followers for whom this is a matter of life and death found it funny. But even before you consider all the scenarios around the failure of Raila to conform to the party's presidential applications deadlines, it will be quite interesting in the coming month to see how the two who beat the deadline, Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya and his Mombasa counterpart Hassan Joho, react to it. The presidential candidate selection process had broken several political parties since the restoration of multi-party politics. I will be surprised if the two didn't demand that ODM adheres to its own declaration and proceed to pick the flag bearer from just the two of them. On what ground would the party deny them this? Yet they followed its own set timetable, and the party leader, who presumably has to be privy to details before the announcements of those programs, clearly failed to, with the party later reopen a window for one candidate to apply without causing disharmony. It is easy to see why ODM had to resort to comedy to explain such a grave matter. Weeks before that, the political sounds were rife with loud whispers that Raila was not too averse to working with DP William Ruto. It had unsettled President Uhuru Kenyatta's side that as soon as Raila tested negative for COVID-19, the head of state drove to Karen to have dinner with him. While they were meeting, it seems the green light had already been given to the party's NEB to confirm receipt of Raila's application. Then the president and Raila went to a blitz in town next day, inspecting development projects, which of course is euphemism to restoring the handshake optic to factory settings. Once the vibe about working with Ruto had been extinguished and the handshake returned to normal, and this not about 2022 portion of it had to be restored too, leading to the announcement that Raila hadn't applied for the ODM ticket after all. The handling was, however, shockingly cavalier to say the least. ODM is caught in a very difficult spot, convinced that it has won and been dropped of 3 elections. The party has invested heavy political capital in its relationship with the president, presumably on the assumption that you need the regime and the incumbent to be on your side for you to win and actually get sworn in this side of Africa. However, being the biggest movement in the land, a battle-hardened machine with several general elections and referenda on its CV, it must surely see the calendar moving fast toward 2022 and rather whether it is time to deploy its own strategy independent of the president's whims. As long as the party and its elected leaders have to walk on eggshell around the president and his regime, their whole gameplay has to constantly factor in his conveniences, which is hardly the way to approach a crucial elections like 2022. Sometimes I wonder what goes through the minds of a typical ODM follower. Your party enters into a sort of arrangement with the government, taking its credibility and good name and propping up the regime and giving it stability for 4 years, yet it doesn't ask for anything in return. ODM is evidently stuck in the illusion of the politics of principles from the second liberation season. Another political party in this position will have demanded a share of the cabinet, civil service appointments, a 50-50 share of this and that, a big factory, and a huge dam near the party leader's village. In the thankless politics of the modern era, demanding 1 pound of flesh ranks as the most pragmatic way to get the negotiation negotiating table. It remains to be seen how the new bromance between the president and Raila will go, given that in the short term they have to play on two different teams in the Bonchari by-election. But given Uhuru isn't running again, only one side of the handshake must has much to lose if the next 10 months do not go according to plan. If you ask me, the part of the political script where Raila and Ruto accidentally ran into each other during lunch hour at the exclusive restaurant in Nairobi is long overdue just to spread the intrigue wider. My assessment is that the underlying issue with the deep state that caused a blame in the last 4 or so weeks have not been sufficiently addressed beyond the superficial attempts to paint the picture of normalcy. It is easy to say ODM is being managed like its former cousins in NASA, now in the One Kenya Alliance. It is fair to say that once you get to the point where your own announcements of the party leader's application has to be clarified as an April's Fool's prank, then you have reached the point where ordinary parties took stock of their current standing and break to form new alliances. A mass movement has to be obsessed with communicating to the best that the journey is under control, because the longer clarity it takes to reach the grassroots, the more you hammerhead support to competitors. It is worse when you are in the alliance with a more powerful partner whose intentions you can't tell clearly. As time ran out, did you enjoy this video? Please give us a like, share and subscribe. Please give us a like, share our videos and subscribe to our channel. Bye.